What's up, movie lovers? It's your girl Rossie, and I'm back with another awesome review. Today, I'm joined by my friend Tomeka, and we are going to review They Cloned Tyrone. So let's get into it, y'all. Tomeka,
Oh, hey.
hello.
Uh-oh. Yeah. I like your
I see you
theme
jamming to
song.
our music.
Yeah. Close it. Close it. Close it.
How are you?
I'm doing pretty good.
We were backstage just laughing about silly stuff I do,
You just
the
made my night.
movie, all of that.
You made my
So,
night.
guys, we decided that we wanted to review They Cloned Tyrone. Not my choice. Actually, Tomeka was like, hey, we should do this. And she asked me this like a few months ago. And I'm like, yes, let's do it. So we finally had time. I just got done watching the movie. She just got done rewatching the movie. I was really surprised. I thought it was a good movie. I didn't know what to think. I don't know. I had an idea of what the movie was going to be about. Guys, really quick, let me just read you just a little synopsis of the film. So if you haven't seen it, it's on Netflix and it's currently streaming. Let's see, a pulpy sci-fi mystery caper in which an unlikely trio investigates a series of eerie events, alerting them to a nefarious conspiracy lurking directly beneath their hood. Fontaine, who is our lead character, he's a neighborhood drug dealer. He's shot by a rival, Isaac, and then is very shocked to wake up in his bed the next morning unharmed. All right, so he has a friend. His friend's name is Slick. He also has another friend named Yo-Yo. She's like Slick is the pimp, Yo-Yo is the hoe,
Mhm.
and we have Fontaine, who is the drug dealer. So we got the drug dealer, the hoe, and the pimp, and they're going to be our three sleuths. Okay. Um, they don't know they're going to be, but they are. But eventually, guys, um, they're looking into the incident, and it leads them to a vast underground complex where a government-backed lab is performing experiments on the local Black population. Realizing that he is an artificial clone controlled by Nixon, Fontaine initially feels despair, but decides he needs to stand up to these white institutional overlords for the sake of his neighborhood.
Mhm.
Go ahead, Tamika.
Boom. What my favorite parts, or
Yes.
just talk about it?
Yeah, we're just going to talk about the movie, guys.
Oh, yeah.
This is going to be a spoiler
Yes.
review. So if you
Heavy
haven't seen it,
spoilers.
don't watch it.
No. Or do watch it.
Or do watch it. Or do
Yeah.
watch it. Shit,
Or
do
do
watch
watch
it.
it. Do a press
All right.
pause and then go watch it now.
And there you go. And there you go. What'd you think about it?
Oh man, I love the movie. I really do. I even put the double thumbs up. You know how you
I
rate
did
it?
too. I
Yeah,
did
I did the
too.
double thumbs up so Jamie Foxx know to make some more of those movies. It's basically about all the conspiracy theories in the Black community we've been hearing for decades.
Right.
And even the people on the street corner, like the guy that was outside the liquor store,
Right.
and he was just talking, and you think this guy's crazy, but he's the truth teller. He's the one that you go to, and the local drunk is telling the
Right.
story because he's seen everything.
Right.
But yeah, just oh, it's just crazy. I mean, when I saw it, I thought, okay, this is just like a regular movie, a
Yeah.
drug deal or whatever.
Yeah.
And when he got shot, I was like, oh, well, that's the end of that. It's a quick movie.
I know.
I was
I
like,
thought the
oh,
same thing. I'm like,
oh,
so
another
that's the
brother,
only
another one
yeah,
gone.
he's gone in the beginning of the film, and it's not a horror film, guys. Like he's gone,
Right.
as a drug dealer. So I thought, let's see. Hey Jojo.
Hey,
Let's say
Joe.
hi to Jojo. Jojo always comes and gives us love. Hey Joanne, thank you for joining us tonight.
Yes.
Um, so I thought that too. When I saw the beginning of the film, I'm thinking, okay, Jamie Foxx in it's going to be good. I love Jamie Foxx.
Hmm.
We have John Boyega, who
Yes.
plays Fontaine. Of course, Jamie Foxx plays Slick Charles, and the beautiful Tiana Paris plays Yo-Yo, who does a great job as Yo-Yo. She's our hoe.
Yes.
Okay, and so yeah, at the beginning, you have Fontaine in the hood. He's riding around. You know that he's the man. You
Yes.
know, One thing I was confused by is I didn't know if it was a period piece or whatnot.
Yes.
Did
I
you
was
get
going
confused
to
by
ask
that
you.
too?
I was like, are we in present day? And then
Right,
seeing Slick and Yo Yo,
right,
I was like, is it the 70s? What? I
right.
was confused about that. That's my only flaw. I thought the period should have been clearer.
Yes, I didn't know what year we were in, so I felt that way too. Until he wakes up again, and then you realize, okay, he's in present time. When he comes back. So Fontaine
Which
gets
time?
shot. Yeah, he gets shot. I think it's the old cars, because when they had the old cars, and then you see that one, the like the Tahoe or whatever,
Okay.
when he
Yeah.
comes out, when he comes back the second time, and he sees that the Jeep or
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Escalade looking
Yes.
Suburban, then I was like, oh, okay, so it's present time. But I
Um,
wasn't sure because of the old cars, and just it looked like it was a time piece movie, but it's not. You have right, it's not right.
I have no idea now.
Okay, either way, you get to see some old classic cars that they're riding around in, and so you have the little kid, who's our little snitch. He works with Fontaine. At first, I thought it was like his son, his brother, whatever,
Yeah.
and then they're in
Okay.
the car, and he's talking about, "Don't you love SpongeBob?" I love that exchange between them, and he's sitting up there laughing and just giggling about SpongeBob and the people on SpongeBob. But he ends up being a little snitch. Okay, he helps Fontaine out. He wants to be a part of the crew. Fontaine's like not having it. Anyways, he ends up hitting this guy on the bike.
Mm,
Fontaine does purposely.
mm-hmm.
All right. And it's another drug dealer in the neighborhood. Anyways, breaks his legs. They come for get back that evening when he's going to visit Slick
Mm-hmm.
Fontaine, and he gets shot. He leaves Slick's room, and he's in the car, and of course he gets shot a few times. So as Tomeka and I said, we're thinking it's over with. It's done until he comes back.
Yeah.
He wakes up. Did you think it was a dream?
Uh, I I was still trying to process what
Right.
happened because he got
Right.
shot like 50 Cent,
Yeah, that's right.
he got popped 9 times. So I was like, oh, he dead. And he woke up. I was like, what's going on? And then he went to Charles' place,
Right,
who was getting his manicure. He's a
right.
pimp. You gotta have clean nails.
Absolutely. Pimps have to have clean nails. They have
And
to
he
have clean
opened,
nails.
yeah, he opened the door and he's like, "Oh my God, are you a ghost? You died." And
Right.
he don't know what's going on. He's like, "What are you talking about? I just came for my money." And that
Right.
was so bizarre that I guess every clone, I
Yeah.
guess when they wake up, they just continue on from where they were last time. It's like a
Yeah.
reset button.
Right.
So that I don't know, that was just bizarre to me.
So it's like Groundhog's Day. If you ever seen Groundhog's Day,
Yes, this
yeah,
is
it's
the
like that.
ghetto Groundhog's
There,
Day.
you. Thank you, thank you. It is the ghetto Groundhog's Day.
Yes.
Every day he comes back after being shot. He comes back, and like Tamika said, it's the same day. I mean, walks out of the liquor store, does the scratch it. You're a loser. The old man sitting there, he has his 40 in his hand. Fontaine goes over there. Same thing that he does. Pour the old man, a little bit something to drink. The old man's rambling, actually
Hmm.
rambling truth, but
Yeah.
we don't pay attention to him because he's an old drunk man in front of the liquor store.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So he goes on with this day. And like Tamika said, when he goes to see Slick, they're tripping because you've been shot. Like what happened to you? And he did mention, like you was shot like 50 cents, like 9 times,
Yep.
like
Yep.
you're dead.
Yes.
So he's not buying this. So they just go on with their day. You want to talk about the commercial?
With the chicken commercial.
The chicken commercial, because the chicken commercial is very
Oh
important in this film because
God.
you see
Oh
it in
my
the
God.
background.
I
You don't even
swear,
realize it. You
I
see the
swear,
chicken commercial. Go
when I
ahead.
finish describing this and y'all look at Popeye's commercial, you're gonna turn the TV off.
Absolutely.
I think it was called Hot Damn or something like that, chicken. And
Right.
then they were selling I don't know, I'm just gonna call it like a 2-piece because that's a thing, right? 2-piece and a
The
biscuit.
two
And like, come
pieces.
get our new chicken box. And they were dancing like, yeah, get that
Yes.
chicken box. Oh, get that chicken box. Oh. and they had a theme song, and then they were all looking at it, laughing like, "That's funny." Yeah, like
Right.
we do with Popeye. Love
Yeah,
that
we do
nigga
laugh at
Popeyes. And then we go, "That's
exactly.
funny."
It is
For
funny, and it was
shucking
funny.
and
I
jiving.
remember, and they're jamming in there, and it's just at first I'm thinking when I saw it in the background because you see the commercial in the background, okay? So I'm looking at it and I'm thinking that's disrespectful. Like how stereotypical. I mean, why would they? And then I instantly thought back to Soul Glow from Coming to America. Remember that? So,
Yes,
so when you okay, so I thought, oh, okay, Soul Glow, hot
yes,
damn chicken,
yes,
same thing. So it's
yes.
totally just over exaggerated, guys. But it's there for a reason, all right. So you pay attention to those commercials because it's happening for a reason. Anyways, so we have how do we get Yo-Yo? She
Oh,
comes into the picture.
they called her when she was on her job.
So
And ran her
Yo-Yo
customer away.
and Yo-Yo's okay. So Yo-Yo, the hoe,
Yes,
Yo-Yo, her goal is like she wants to be out of the game. She doesn't want to be
yes,
in it, and she just needs
mhm,
a few more bucks to get
yes,
to Memphis. That's her
yes,
thing to go to Memphis. And her and Slick have some sort of dysfunctional relationship.
yes,
Like
very.
that's his hoe, but that's his hoe. You know what I mean?
Yes,
Um,
and they like watching movies together.
and they love watching movies together. And she loves Nancy Drew. You'll find out that she loves Nancy Drew, and you
Very
end up
smart.
finding a little bit about. I was about to say you're going to find a little bit more about Ho. I mean Yo-Yo,
Oh, yeah, sorry.
because as it goes on, everyone has a dream, right?
Yes,
Everyone has a dream,
yes,
and unfortunately for Yo-Yo, being that she grew up in the conditions that she grew up in, it's hard to get out of the hood.
mhm,
So she was going to do what she needed to do to get to Memphis, and then eventually go to the Caribbean or wherever she wanted to go, because she wanted to be some type of detective. She wanted to
mhm.
solve crimes and stuff. So her wanting to do that comes in very useful when the three of them get together, because they're trying to figure out why is Tyrone, why is Fontaine back,
Yeah.
and so they end up stumbling upon this elevator, and it was an elevator in an apartment where he got shot at. So Fontaine ends up taking them to the place where he ended up getting shot at, but it's a whole new family. I think a whole new family lives there, but in the closet was an elevator. And
Mhm.
so they step into this elevator and they head down. There's another part where they're heading down in the elevator and they start singing Mary J. Blige, I'm going down. It was you remember that part? How
Oh my
funny was
God.
that?
That
The movie is really funny, you
I
guys. They
I
make fun
need
of
to
a lot
start
of stuff.
doing that when I'm going on the elevator. I'm
It
like,
was so funny because you have Jamie Foxx Slick, who starts to sing as they're going down, starts to sing the famous Mary J. Blige song, I'm going down. And then he's just singing it, singing it to his gun. And then you have Yo-Yo, who starts picking up and singing with them as they're going down. So they do a lot of silly shit, but it's absolutely really funny though. And you'll never hear these songs again. You'll never be in an elevator the same way. You'll never eat chicken the same way. And you'll
mm-mm,
never watch the
mm-mm.
Popeyes commercial the same way after you
No.
watch this film. But they go down and they find this freaking laboratory, this
Yeah,
this underground lab with, I think they showed some clones were or people were in
yeah,
these containers.
yes.
The cocaine that they come upon, that Jamie Foxx takes a hit of that and he starts laughing. You don't really think too much about it. He just starts to laugh.
Yeah. You think, oh, I guess it's some good coke. I don't know.
It's yeah, exactly, and
It
it's
just makes
it's
them
it's
laugh. Yeah.
makes them laugh. Just funny Coke, okay? So that's a really important funny Coke, because it's a really important piece. There is the funny Coke. So we realize something's going on. We have
Mhm.
this underground lab in this house. They come out of it and they end up in just a whole nother home. I mean, when you come out of it, you end somewhere else. So you go in a certain place, you come out in a certain place. So we know something's going on, which leads us to Jamie Foxx saying, Slick saying, how can we solve this when there's no food on the table? I mean, a pimp needs to eat. I mean, a pimp needs nourishing. Like a pimp's
Yes.
blood sugar is dropping.
Yes.
So we
It
all got
is.
to go to hot damn, goddamn, whatever chicken is.
Yes.
We go there and we
Yes.
go have some chicken.
Yes. The
Tell
new
us about that
box that
experience.
just came
Please,
out. Yes.
please tell us about the
And they're
experience at
all
the
at the
chicken place.
table and it's packed and there's a line hanging out the door. And you're like, this must be some good chicken. They must be here for the new box that came out. And they're eating chicken. And he was like, Tyrone, I never seen you laugh before, and it's good to see you laugh. And then they just
Right.
spontaneously laugh. Then everyone else around
Yes.
them laughing. And then Slick remembers, or he looks around and he's like, oh my God, it's the chicken. Something in
Right.
the chicken. And everybody's at their table. They're spitting it out.
Yep.
And he's like, it's that funny cocaine powder is in that chicken.
Right.
That's why all these people laughing. Don't
Right.
eat the chicken. And they tell, I think Yo-Yo said she gonna find out from the white boy, the manager, what's going
That
on.
all have afros, by the way. All the white people, the beige people have these afros. It's the
Yes,
weirdest
notice
thing.
that. Yes.
Right? Everyone, they all the white people or the beige people in the film have afros. The people that work at the liquor store that are
Yes.
not black are that have afros.
Yes, they do.
Yeah,
Oh,
everyone
but
has afros. And the girl at the salon, the beige girl at the salon, she didn't have an afro. She had the straight bone straight weave, which I thought
oh,
was weird because she too was not of us.
yeah. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
So those are just look
Oh,
at
yeah.
everyone in the film. When you watch the film, you got to
Mhm.
look at everyone and everything in the store because it means
Yes.
the guy that's running the chicken place with the
Well,
afro.
I do want to say, we
Mhm.
were talking about everything in the background. It's like the film is telling the audience, hey, all this stuff is important.
Yes.
And we're going to explain to you why. It
Right.
slowly leads up to this is one giant conspiracy by the government.
Right.
Like we talked about earlier, to control Black people
Yes.
or take their culture or whatever. But
Right.
yeah, Yo-Yo takes the white guy. She turns it on. And she seduces him because he likes Black women.
Yeah, he likes
And
black guys.
he gets chicken, and she give him, I don't know, silly Susan. I don't know what she said. She's gonna give him Charlemagne.
It was
I don't know,
fucking exciting. You said silly
some move,
Susan.
some move that she said she was gonna try. She made up, and he like, woo, I want that. And then funny because she stuck the chicken in his mouth, so he's really seduced by her.
Right. And he eating the hell out that chicken while she's sitting in his lap.
Yes, he
And
knows what's in it.
she's there's buttons. There's like a whole what is like CCTV,
Yes.
all right, that he has in his office. So as she's seducing him, she's hitting buttons. And as you see, every single like there's CCTVs, there's cameras all over the hood, everywhere in the hood. And it's linked up at this right now we know at the chicken place.
Yep.
So when she sees there's a strip club that they're watching, there's the hair salon that they're watching, the liquor store, like the government's watching everything. Okay. So kind of makes you go, what's going on? So
yeah. And she could
go
only
ahead.
do that by sticking the chicken in his mouth and drugging him.
Right. Yes.
And she's pushing buttons. She's like, and then she gets out of there. She's like, they watching everything, all the hot spots that people go to in the ghetto.
Right.
Your American Deli. They watching that. They watching the house.
American Deli. You know what I thought was funny was when Slick was in the back of when he got trapped in back of that van.
Yeah.
And they're coming out of the chicken spot and they looking for him and the camera pans over and you see him behind the van saying, help me. So they have to, it was just a funny scene. So they have to go and get him because he's trapped behind the van. Yeah. But now we know absolutely there's a conspiracy, which leads us to the next place because we got to investigate this, So they head to the hair salon and
is that before the church?
Oh no, talk about the church. The church is
Oh
next,
no,
and the
go
church
to the
is
hair
freaking
salon.
hilarious.
Yeah, I do the church. You go to the hair
You
salon.
do the church, please, please.
Okay. Well, which one? I don't know which one came first, but yeah, the church. They,
Right?
I think the guy outside the liquor store told them
Oh yeah.
where do people go to find something. I don't know. Long story short, it led them to the church, and that's another clue. And they
Yes.
went to the church, and that coincided with the purple drink.
Oh my gosh.
She calls it the grape
I don't
drink.
want Sunny Delight. I don't want that. I want that purple drink. Remember that commercial? That commercial? No. I don't want the sun. I don't. I remember that commercial.
Oh
Not the
my
purple drink.
goodness.
Anyway, sorry. Everything's a commercial to me. Sorry. It reminds me of my
No,
childhood, the
that's what this
commercials.
movie about. It's about
Yeah. It's about commercials, honestly. Yes. The brainwashing.
yes. But David
Anyways.
Allen Greer was the pastor, of course, which
God,
reminds you of
hilarious.
Cena Martin when he was the pastor there too.
Oh my
He
God.
was
Yes.
acting like a fool there too. And they had the grape drink that they
Yes.
drug, and they were passing that around like communion. And
Yes.
then all of them just started dancing to some rap song, which I don't know if you heard this story, and it's a true story. It
Okay.
really happened at an Atlanta church where this pastor on New Year's Eve was playing some rap song.
Really?
Yeah, he was playing a rap song, but he said we chose the clean version of it, and everybody was shucking and jiving, dancing like fools, just like in this movie. It's
In the
real.
church? Really?
It's real.
Wow.
My God, it was just like
Wow.
that. Yeah, I gotta send you the video.
You got to send me that video.
Yes, because everybody was like, yeah,
In
and they
the
thought it was
church.
just like this movie.
Wow.
It's
Wow.
real. It's real.
Not too far fetched.
It's scary. It's scary.
They were jamming in the church, and you have the three characters, Slick, Yo-Yo, and Fontaine, just looking around like, what the hell's going on? Like this are we in church?
Yeah.
So it's infected the purple drink that they drink for communion in the church. Okay, so it has
Mhm.
that in there. So they're being controlled, and then they go to the hair salon. You get your hair done. The stuff in your beauty products. All of a sudden, the women just started. One woman was talking, and then she just goes into this trance. So it's even in the product. It's
Mhm.
everywhere. Okay,
Mhm. Yep.
go ahead.
Yep. And like she was reasoning, like I don't understand why this going on, but then
Right.
it's almost like it inoculated her.
Yes.
She was blaming herself, like, oh, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm
Right.
tripping. And that's some that's probably another podcast episode. That's something deeper that goes into like what the product did to her. It made
Right.
her blame herself and
Right.
not take ownership of her feelings,
Right.
and she just
Right.
dismissed her how she felt and was like,
Right.
no, I'm just tripping, never mind. It's like it gaslit her
Absolutely.
basically out of like what she was feeling, and she was making
Right.
sense,
Right.
something about her job. They're not doing me right on my job. And then she just was like, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's me, something
Right.
like that.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because with all the things that are going on in the film, I mean, like for real, the film is. I mean, there is a message to be had in the film, and it really makes you think about that because when like the strip club, for instance, when they're at the strip club, and you have again another DJ that happens to be white in the
Yeah.
strip club, everyone's black, okay, and he's
Yeah.
playing some hip hop music, rap music, okay,
Yes.
everyone's jamming out, whatever. He sees the three of them come in. He knows that the three, are not part of that scene, and so he switches up the music. The music gets slower, and then everyone stops, and they start just going in circles, just going
Mhm.
in circles. So they're all looking around. So even with the music that we listen to, you're being controlled. It's mind control. That's what you're getting from this. And so as they leave out of that strip club, they leave out, and the DJ ends up telling the people something that makes them run after and head after our three sleuths. You got your, Yo-Yo, Slick, and Fontaine. So they're getting in a car, and Yo-Yo's like, go, go, because the mind control has taken over everyone in that strip club. So they're after the three of them. As they are heading out and driving away, because they ran into a fence, the car stops. And that's a pivotal point of the film, because you finally see who's possibly behind, Fontaine, the clones, okay, and what's going on in the community. So that's where we introduce Kiefer Sutherland, who's in this film, who happens to be the man, or part of the man who you think at the time.
Yeah.
And then you see the driver, who's Fontaine.
Yeah.
He's an older version, not too old, but an older Fontaine, more conservative looking.
Yes.
And so the three of them are just stopping there, and they're just staring at them. And of course, they're talking big mess, Fontaine and Slick and Yo-Yo, until, dude does something to freeze them. And he attempts to have Fontaine's just kind of frozen up with his gun. He tells Fontaine to take Yo-Yo and to basically shoot her. And then tells him, no, don't do that. Put the gun in your mouth. Do it to yourself. So there's no control. Fontaine cannot stop this. And then, Kiefer Sutherland's character is like, all right, go ahead. Go back to normal. Be unfroze. You're done. So we know they have something to do with this. We know that now, because why is there another Fontaine standing there? So this is absolutely huge. And so we do get into a point in the film where they, after this incident, I must say, Fontaine he don't want to do it no more. He's good. He don't want to do it no more. He don't want to go and find out, because he finds out that him being a drug dealer is damaging his community.
Yeah.
Slick being a pimp is damaging his community. What Yo-Yo does, Hohen, is damaging the community, because you're making it seem like everyone in that community is like that. They're all like that. When in reality, there are a lot of good people in the Black community, in the hood, that just want to live normal, everyday lives and want to be happy and have the same freaking American dream that the people across town have. It's just that you have these certain folks in those communities that makes it hard. So, I just wanted to mention that, because that's how Fontaine looked at it, because he realized he was the problem. And the reason why they keep cloning him and not allowing him to die is that they want him to continue to sell, drugs to the community, to kill the community. They want Slick to continue to be who he is in the community, and they need Yo-Yo to continue to be who she is in the community, because it drowns out all of the good people in the community. That's what I got from that. So the next day, Fontaine's like, I give up. I'm not going to be anything. I'm just a dope dealer. The mom, though, that scene where you finally found. Please tell them about the mom. Fontaine's mom.
So going back a little bit.
Yes.
With Kiefer, and he was like, "Why are you doing this?" And he's like, "This is our operation," because the church was like their mega operation, like where the giant cloning lab was, which is
right.
That's another podcast. And he was like, "We're doing this so we can keep basically." It's weird gentrification out. It was so bizarre how he described it. He was like, "If we get rid of you, then basically the white people are going to come with Starbucks, and then they're going to infiltrate and find out what we're doing, and that's going to mess up our operations. And we're trying to do a science experiment on y'all." It was the weirdest excuse for not having gentrification.
Right.
It just messed me up. I was like, "Wait, what?"
I forgot about that. I forgot he mentioned the whole Starbucks, situation. I totally forgot that. But yeah, he did mention that about Starbucks.
Yeah, so we gotta keep this place ghetto so we can keep, the hipsters out. And they won't find out what we're doing. So keep being ghetto and doing what you're doing.
And that's it. Yeah. That's it. Right. It's really sad. I mean, because there's certain parts of the movie where it does get serious, and it does make you think, and even earlier on in the film, when you realize like the chicken commercial and all that, we laugh at it, but there is, there is something to be said. Okay. So So the next day, Fontaine's like, I'm gonna be who I'm supposed to be. You
Yeah.
know, I'm nobody. I'm nothing. He goes to the room to offer his mom another sandwich because that's one thing you'll notice in the film. He's constantly knocking on his mom's door, and I'm watching my stories. You know, I already had something to eat. You know, I went to so and so's house, and we had whatever we had.
Yeah.
And finally, he gets pissed, and he's like, "Can we just talk?" And so he goes in there, and guys, it's just a intercom. It's just a tape. There's no one in the room but a
Mhm,
table with her voice. That
mhm.
was so, and he breaks down and just cries because he realizes how deep this is. I mean, his mother, who he thought the whole time was in a room, no,
Mhm.
no.
Yeah.
So then,
'Cause
you know, go ahead.
I thought she was sick, like, maybe she
Yeah,
had oh, sorry to say, I thought maybe she had dementia or something, that
yep,
she was really, really sick, and he was just bringing her food,
yeah. That's what I
and
thought.
I was like, "Well, she sure is going to a lot of fish fries." 'Cause she's like,
I'm
"I
like,
had some at the fish fry." I was like, "Dang, where the fish fry she at?"
she always an excuse,
Always.
never came out and I never thought about it. I thought the
Yeah,
same thing, you know, she's a busy woman, or she's, you know, she gets together with her friends, and you know, she doesn't have time for her son, and her stories are on, you know, and I get
yeah,
that, you know. I mean, when your stories are on, your stories are on. You know, I grew up
yeah,
like that. Do not mess with my grandma when her stories are on. So
and yeah.
I easy took the bait for that. That was an easy one for me. So I just, you know, move on.
I yeah, yeah,
You know what I mean?
except when
Like
you break like Fontaine and you hope that behind that door is the intercom grandma.
yeah, you would. I was hoping that he went in there, and I thought maybe because they don't show it, so you see his facial expression, and so I'm thinking, oh my God, has she been in there dead for years? Is she like?
Oh,
I thought something
yeah.
bad like that he saw until you look and see the table, and it's like, oh, so she's not even real. Nothing around is real.
Mm, mm, mm.
So they decide they're going to have to get you know, he decides he's going to go ahead and get with Slick, but unfortunately our girl Yo-Yo gets kidnapped
Mm,
and taken to that underground laboratory because they're getting ready to remake her. So
mm,
then you have Slick,
mm.
and Slick comes up with this huge plan to get back at them, but
Yes,
unfortunately he's going to have to get with the people that were responsible for shooting Fontaine. And
yes.
so yeah, which he was not trying to do. And I was kind of
No,
confused there too when he goes and you see Fontaine go and talk to the guy who he and Fontaine have this horrible relationship because obviously he's the reason that Fontaine originally got shot.
yeah,
And so they put together this big scheme, this big plan, and they're talking to dude, and he's like, Fontaine, you should never have came here. And then he gets shot. And so I'm like, what the hell is really? They shot him? They didn't want to work with him?
he
That's what I was
said, "That's
seriously.
how
That's
much
what I
I
was like.
hate you."
What are we gonna do here? Like they couldn't even come together. To freaking. That's what I'm thinking. Like you shot him, but it
Mm,
was done, of course, on
mm,
purpose.
mm,
Because and
mhm.
Tomeka, you go from here. Because
Yes, the big plan from Slick is that they shoot Tyrone and they leave him in the streets, and he's like, "Okay, you gotta pretend like you dead. Don't move." And then they're gonna take you down to the underground layer, and then from there we're gonna find our girl, and then you call me. And he's like, "Oh, okay. Well, what you gonna do?" He said, "I'm calling the cavalry." And then all you see is a
right,
line of Cadillacs
yes,
with Slick in the front,
right,
calling everybody in the hood, "Come look at this. They taking over." Which
yeah,
I was surprised it didn't take much convincing, because people were like, "I believe that."
yeah, right.
I thought people were gonna be like, "You crazy?" They're like, "No, let's go."
Yeah, no, they went and everyone came together. Everyone came together because what I got from that is going to take all of us to save each other and save our community. So you
Mhm.
have everyone coming together. You got the drug dealers, you got just the pimps. Everyone in that community comes together because they're going to fight this war on the community, right? So
Yes.
they go to that underground place, and they go in there and they're fighting and they're rescuing people that's been held up down there from the community that's never been seen again. There's a
Yeah.
poster on one of the phone, one of
Yeah.
the, oh goodness, hanging up somewhere, and it's of the
Yeah.
girl that's been missing since the beginning of the film. That's where they all are. They all are underground, way underground. So he goes, he finds Yo-Yo. There's this big fight with between Kiefer and Slick, and
Mm-hmm.
that's handled. But then you get to who's behind this whole thing, and it happens to be Fontaine, but he's old. He's like what, 70 something years
Yeah.
old.
Yeah.
Yeah, and is he the original? He's the
Yeah.
original one, right?
Yeah. I
Okay.
don't call him Alpha Fontaine.
Okay.
He's like
He
the
is.
OG, and I don't
Yes.
know. Maybe I think because some in the movie somewhere, he had a little brother, and the
Yes.
little brother died from
Yes.
maybe gun violence.
He
I
said that
forgot what.
uh, Fontaine Alpha mentioned to R. Fontaine
Mm-hmm.
that he gave Fontaine the memories, but he didn't want to give Fontaine his memories of the brother dying because the brother was shot like 5 times or something on, and he was on his bike or something. He was shot, and
Mhm.
so he had mentioned that that when they went to the hospital, he just stood and just stared at his brother because he was in disbelief, but he didn't want to give Fontaine those memories.
Mm-mm.
So that's why Fontaine only has the memory of, you know, his present life, nothing before then. So even when Yo-Yo had mentioned, and when they had that car ride and she mentioned to him about the picture of his brother, and he
Yep.
was like, that's my brother. But remember, he never says what happens to his brother.
No.
Fontaine, he never
Mm-mm.
says his brother died. He never said he got shot. He never, because now knowing, he didn't know.
Mm-mm.
He knew that was his brother. He knew he was gone, but he didn't know how he was gone because
Mm-mm.
he didn't have that memory, because he is actually a clone of Fontaine Alpha. So it's actually, would you the black man, Fontaine, the older man, that actually is the scientist and is behind all of this. He helped the people to do this to the community.
Yeah. Which makes me wonder, was he a drug dealer originally, and then
Yeah, right?
maybe he turned his life around and somehow got into science. I want to know more about his
Yeah,
background. Like,
yeah,
what makes you become a scientist, you know?
right,
But
right.
yeah, his reasoning was that it was a strange reasoning. It was something like he wanted to um, clean up the community, but
Okay.
somehow you're getting more drug dealers out there. But then that was some kind of test so that he can assimilate everybody. Basically, a long story short, he's making these people, his clones are going to
Yeah.
turn into white people.
Yeah,
It's just,
eventually, yeah, it's something like that. Eventually, they'll be
yeah,
blonde, blue-eyed. Eventually, it would be
yes.
yes, yes,
Think about
absolutely.
Get Out. Think about that concept,
Think
and that's
exactly.
pretty much what he wants to do. Yeah.
There you go. There you
Hmm.
go. And there's a certain part of the film where when they are in the underground area, you see them experimenting on different black people. So you see
Yes.
two men that are fighting in one of the glass rooms, and then they change the music up because it was rap music at first. Then when they changed the
Oh.
music up, the two guys look at each other and they just give each other a hug and whatnot. So basically the mind control, the mind
Mhm.
control of the music. And they were using everything in our community to control us. And they did that.
Mhm.
So, and I also want to mention when Fontaine got shot again, his clone did come back. But when the clone came back, you have Slick and the other woman that tied him up because they had to keep him tied up to get, because the other Fontaine was just plain dead. He wasn't really dead. They just shot him in
Yeah.
the shoulder.
Yep.
So he is tied up somewhere. Okay. So that clone did come back. I wanted to
Oh my
mention that
God, I
because
almost forgot about him.
yes, they mentioned that at the end of the film because you see him being tied up and they're telling him, just be right here. We're going to explain everything to you. And he's in that room tied up. So you remember that towards the end of the movie. But basically, guys, I mean, what I got from the movie is, you know, we need to be careful with what we do in the community and what we push in our community. That's what I got from it. And we need to remember there are good people in these communities. They're not all bad. They just show you that a lot of them, it makes it seem like the whole community's just effed up. You know, the community's messed up because there are people in those communities that do things that make the community really bad. Okay, so it affects the whole community. And also what we listen to, what we eat, just everything around us can affect us, you know. Yeah, so that's kind of what I got from it. What did you get from it?
Um, Everything that was a conspiracy theory from years and years ago that I heard as a kid was true. About the
Right.
government, and then I thought about like historically with Tuskegee,
Yes.
Tuskegee experiment, um, basically anything experimental
Right.
that people know of,
Yeah.
that the government has done to Black people. And then I
Right.
thought about um, culture, just how
Okay.
others adopt Black culture, and
Right.
some aspects of it are cool. Like you said, all the white guys had afros.
Right. They did. They
Yeah,
literally did. They all
yeah,
had, even some of the scientists had afros.
yes,
Yes.
yes. And then they were like, "Right on, brother."
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, "What?"
They were, they were, and the movie was, it was a really good movie, you know, but
Yes,
I feel there was a message there, you know, there was
yes,
absolutely a message there, you know.
yes. Oh, and at the end, they freed
Oh
all the
yeah.
clones, and naked people
Oh,
was
that's
walking out in
right.
the street. And it was touching that the people that raided the lab put coats on them and everything. And then they finally exposed them. They're like, they cloning
Right.
this city, that city. Y'all
Yes.
need to be aware. And then we see, I think Tyrone and them wanted to go to Memphis or
Yes. They
in
all
other
decided.
places
Yeah.
to expose the truth.
Yeah.
And then we thought, oh, okay, that's a good ending. And then it
Right.
wakes back up with another Tyrone. You're like, oh no, not again.
Yes.
And then I
Yes.
think maybe this is, like you said, the time period was so weird, but
Yeah.
he woke up in South Central, so it looked like the 90s, like
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
hairstyle and everything else.
Yeah, it did look like the 90s. It looked like he was coming out of Craig's house from Friday, you know, and
Yes.
it looked just like he was coming out of Craig's house on Friday. He's walking down the street, you know, going to get, you know, his 40, you know, same scenario, the liquor
Yep.
store, the old black man in front of the liquor store,
Mhm.
pours him a little something to drink, but it's a different Tyrone. He goes back home, sits on on the couch with his guys, and they're sitting there watching what happened in Atlanta, you know, or I assume it's Atlanta.
Yeah.
And they're seeing that, they're like Tomeka said, they're seeing, you know, naked people, you know, and they're being covered up. And then they see Tyrone.
Hmm.
And so even Tyrone, as he's sitting on the couch looking, and then his boys start looking at him like, ain't that you? And it
Yeah.
goes off.
Because then he was laughing like, man, they crazy.
Right.
Until he see himself, his other clone
His
walking
other
around.
clone.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sir, can you tell me what happened? He's like, what? I know they're really strong, but dang.
Right. Right. I recommend everyone go see this film. It's on Netflix. It's a good watch. It's about
Yes.
2 hours and 3 minutes, I believe, but
Yeah.
it's not,
Yeah.
you don't, when I first saw it was that was 2 hours. I'm like, oh my God, 2 hours. But no, you totally forget about the time. And I was really just like watching to see what's going to happen next. It
Mhm.
was really good. The acting was done good. Of course, Jamie Foxx did a great job. John Boyega did a
Yeah.
great job.
Yes.
Her name, what was her name?
I think
Tiana Paris did great as Yo-Yo. She was excellent. Kiefer Sutherland and David Allen Greer played the preacher.
Keith
Great
was
film. I
Sutherland.
would never have watched this film, honestly. I would have watched it eventually one day
Yeah.
soon, maybe a
Uh-huh.
year or so, maybe on a day I was bored and wanted to
Yeah.
watch something. You know what I mean? I wouldn't have, but Tamika's like, let's do They Cloned Tyrone. And I'm happy
Yeah.
you told me to watch it.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
A year or so
Yes.
later. What's this?
I would
Oh,
have.
okay.
I would have eventually got to it.
Yeah.
I still got to watch the other one.
What's the other one?
The other Jamie Foxx one on Netflix called Daylight or something. It's like a vampire something film. It
Hmm.
came out. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Okay. I know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Because I did watch the one that he did a year or so ago. It's like he's some superhero with the little girl, and I can't think of the name, but that one was a really good one too. So far, Jamie Foxx movies on Netflix have been a lot of fun.
Yeah, yeah. He
And this
needs
one was a good one as
more.
well.
Yes, he needs to keep making more.
I think
Yes.
so too. I think he's great on Netflix. I think it's really good. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to watch. Maybe I'll watch that one and I'll send that to you and we'll do that one next.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
But of course it's not like a Jamie Foxx marathon. It just
No, no,
happens to
no, no,
be
no.
Jamie
No, we are
Foxx.
not gonna do that. No. No. I just figured, hey, we like this one. Maybe we'll watch the other one.
Because if we're doing a Jamie Foxx marathon, we're gonna have to
Yes.
go to the sitcom, and then we're gonna have to go to the Living Color,
Oh
and then we're gonna
shoot.
have to do Ray.
Oh my gosh. That's right. Freaking Wanda. Jamie Foxx was hilarious on freaking in Living Color. I
Oh my
lived for
gosh!
Wanda. What
Yeah,
else did you say? Oh, the TV show. That's right. He had
yeah,
the TV show.
Jamie Foxx show,
The Jamie Foxx show.
and
That was on for a very long time.
then he did some movie called Booty Call.
Oh
Then he
my
did
gosh.
some
I
other
watched that
movie.
movie.
I did too. I was like, oh,
Horrible. Horrible. But I watched it because I was a big fan of Jamie Foxx. I watched it. I
me
watched some of
too.
the episodes of the show. I used to watch that. And then of course in Living Color, and then
Yeah,
all of a sudden they cloned Tyrone.
yeah, and then he's winning. He won an Oscar too, right? Not for They
Oh,
Cloned
Ray. I
Tyrone,
saw
but for
Ray.
Ray.
Ray was really good where he the Ray Charles film, that one.
Yes,
That one, wow, when I saw that film, that's when I was like, oh my gosh, this guy is a genius. Like how
yes.
can you play someone so well and play blind like that? I mean, that film was amazing. He did an amazing job as Ray.
Yes, I learned so much. I was like, dang, Ray was kind of messed up. I don't want to be around.
Really, right?
It was like,
Like
next woman, next woman.
he
I'm like,
right, he was blind and still abusive. I mean, it did
yeah,
not matter. It was
Jesus, my God.
My thing was this: he was blind, right?
Yeah,
And he did beat these women.
yes.
How did y'all let that happen?
I don't know. They
How
they
did
want to
you
be
like
famous.
be like, oh, I'm over here now.
Yeah,
Oh, you hit left punch, you
yeah.
missed.
Hmm.
How did you, and that's me attempting to be funny because it is like, how does that happen? But he did a great job. I've seen Ray so many times. I remember when it first came out, I could not wait for it to
Oh,
buy it.
yes,
I could
yes,
not wait to buy it, and it was really a great movie. He did a great job. But yeah, you learned a lot about Ray Charles, who's still
yes.
excellent, but still, it's like, oh gosh,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, like oh gosh,
Oh God, yeah. And then
yeah.
I got introduced to Olivia Pope before she was Olivia Pope.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I used to
Kerry
love that show
Washington,
too.
that's her name.
Guys, I'm sorry. We're sitting here just
Oh,
just
oh,
just
sorry.
reminiscing about everything Jamie Foxx did. But listen, we're just reviewed They Cloned Tyrone. It's on
Yes.
Netflix. It's gonna be on Netflix for some time. I don't see them getting rid of that one. It's
Mhm,
really good. Go and watch it. Go
mhm.
and laugh. It's quite funny. And shoot. Tamika and I will be back with another review. I hope you come back and we do something else again.
Yeah.
You kill me. And so I'm happy that we finally did a review together. Tamika and John are going to be doing the review of Terminator here really
Yeah.
soon.
Eventually.
Eventually, once he watches it, they will be doing that review.
Mhm.
Next Wednesday, John and I will be reviewing the last voyage of the
Hmm,
Demeter,
interesting.
which is really good. It's a vampire film. I love vampire films. You guys know I
Mhm.
love horror films, and this one was. I really like this film, so I cannot wait to talk to John about it. And then John and I will have another intermission segment. It's John's segment, and we're going to discuss the late great Tupac. I cannot wait to have that discussion.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
we're
can't
going to
wait to
discuss
see that
Tupac.
show.
I cannot wait. I can talk Tupac all
Mhm.
day.
Yep.
So, and then come to find out, John is a Tupac fan. He sends me a screenshot of his playlist, and I'm like, okay, all right. So we can have
Right.
a good discussion. Come correct, John. Come
Hmm.
correct, because I'm ready to talk about Tupac.
He got to.
Anyways, guys, Tamika, anything going on?
No. Yeah, I like that friend that crashed the sofa. I'm like, oh, you got a show? Okay.
Half baked,
Free agent.
half baked. The dude on the sofa.
Yeah.
Dude on the sofa. She is
Yeah.
a free agent. So you
Yeah.
podcasters out there, if you need someone to come and sit and
No.
watch a movie and
Uh-uh.
review,
No. I'm
she will
particular.
not do that with you
No,
unless it's
particular.
John or I.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
I have
Yes. And she
standards.
does appear on a lot of panel shows. So as
Yes.
soon as that freaking what's the video game one that we all sat on John's panel for? The Last of Us. Was it The Last of Us?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, The Last of Us.
Yes.
So I cannot wait for that to come back because then we'll all be discussing The Last of Us Part 2. Playing that game right now, finishing that up finally. But anyway, guys, I appreciate you guys. Thanks for joining us tonight. Please enjoy the rest of your week. Have a wonderful weekend. Be good to each other. And, we'll see you next week with another show. And Monday, guys, I'll probably come with a documentary that I've been wanting to discuss with you guys. So I'll probably do that Monday.
Oh, okay.
Anyways, yes, a really good documentary, actually.
Nice.
And
Don't
we'll
eat
see
the
you
chicken.
guys. Please don't eat the chicken. Please don't eat the chicken.
or the
And if you
purple
start
journey.
laughing after you eat the chicken, you're going to be cloned.
Don't do the purple journey.